Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? I'm sorry, I don't know
I'm
what happened.
fine. Alhamdulillah.
I couldn't
Mhm.
get the right access, but we are here now. Assalamu
It's
alaikum,
okay.
Noreen.
Noreen left.
Say it again, Khadija.
Noreen. Okay, Noreen is here.
Yes, Noreen is here, and I'm just trying to do something. Hey, and Tariq is here after a very long time. Assalamu alaikum, Noreen. Looking beautiful. Hey, I'm just going to open up a whiteboard. Actually, I don't even know where my maybe if I put on my glasses, it'll be easier for me. Assalamu alaikum, Tariq. Hey. So today, let's start with Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. And I want to actually do today's class by, so is there a way that you guys do not go on the whiteboard? Just so I go on the whiteboard, you know? I see Tarek, I see Noreen are on my whiteboard, but okay. So I want to begin today's today's workshop with your questions. So I know that Noreen messaged me yesterday and she said, I have a lot of questions. And I hopefully Tarek and Khadija and Zilehuma too. If you guys have any questions, I would like to begin with that because we're having a workshop after a very, very long time. So ideally, I would like to answer any question that you have about English grammar, speaking, pronunciation, sentence structure, anything to do with language. Assalamu alaikum, Rabia. Assalamu alaikum, Zilhuma.
Assalamu alaikum, ma'am. How are you?
I'm good, Tariq. Long time. How are you doing?
I'm good, alhamdulillah. Actually, I was trying to turn on my microphone, but I don't know why I was stuck at the whiteboard. So
Okay, it's
I heard you
okay.
calling me, but I was not able to. Yeah, just not a
It's
tech TV. I'm not born in 90s, but still I feel like I was a 90s guy.
listen, I was
Mistakenly
born in
born
the
in 90s.
80s, so let's not talk about age, okay?
Sure, sure.
Okay, so
Assalamu
let's
alaikum,
begin.
ma'am.
Wa alaikum assalam, Rabia. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, fine, ma'am.
Excellent. Okay, who would like me to answer their first question? I'm sure you guys have some things in mind. I want to begin with what you might have. So, who would like to go first?
Me.
Okay, let's go, me.
Okay, why is English hard to learn?
Okay, why is English hard to learn? So, is it only English? Is if I was learning Urdu for the first time, or if I was learning, I mean, I'm for the past 18 years, I'm still learning French. And trust me, French is like Urdu, in which it is such a difficult language. Everything has a muzakkar muannas, everything has like, there's so many different ways of speaking in every tense. But it's not that something is hard to learn, it's how much consistent commitment do you want to put in it. So Noreen, you're around the whiteboard, the whiteboard, and so if you just stop moving your cursor, it'll be easier for me as well. I don't know how to not allow anyone to have connection to the whiteboard, but one day I will learn. Oh, okay, I just figured it out. Post only. Okay, I think that should stop now. So Khadija, the biggest thing I can say is there's two things. One has to be consistent effort. And what does consistent mean? If I say consistent, what does that mean to you?
جهد مسلسل.
And what does that mean?
Try again and again. Consistency. جهد مسلسل.
Is it musalsal? But where's the where? How do you explain musalsal to me?
Continuously.
Without a break, right?
Yeah.
Without a break.
Without
it
any
cannot,
break.
exactly. It cannot be that one day you sit down and you decide to do 2 hours of English learning, and then for a month or a week you don't do anything. That's not going to help you, right? So it has to be something that's a little bit, but regular and consistent. That is really, really important. So I know that's not the best answer to your question, but it is the only answer to your question. And I think, Noreen, I'm going to take over your next question because your question from yesterday, it connects with Khadija's question a lot. And that question is, Noreen sent me a nice little PDF book, and it was a very, very advanced level PDF book of advanced English grammar, very advanced. Now, Noreen asked me, and I know that Noreen for a long time, she is a very dedicated student, and she's very consistent, and she's very committed to improving her English skills. But I told her this book it's not for you. It's trash for you. Why? Because the problem is that in the subcontinent, specifically, so I'm only going to talk about India, Pakistan, right? Because that's where we're from right now. What people end up doing is two things that are really, really harmful for learning how to speak better English. And I'm going to put those down over here. I'm going to try to put it down over here. I see Noreen dancing on my screen a lot, but I will go over that. I cannot find my, very different today. Two harmful things done when learning English. Can you guys see my board?
Yeah, definitely.
Perfect. So two harmful things done when learning English is one, trying to just study grammar. That is really harmful for English learning. Studying grammar is only beneficial if you either you already know English and you want to know why something is said a particular way. The same thing in Urdu or whatever language you speak at home. You did not learn your mother tongue because first you learned grammar, right? You knew how to speak your language before you left the house for the first time to go to school, even kindergarten. You already knew how to speak. So that is the biggest proof that grammar is not the first step of learning English, any language, any language. So trying just to study grammar is not going to get you anywhere. And the second thing that is done wrong when speaking, trying to improve your English or trying to, is using academic, that's not how you spell academic slash very complicated vocabulary. Okay, that is also really, really painful for anyone that's out of the subcontinent to see because that's not how anyone speaks here. So this morning, actually, I was in a small meeting with a really good brother from Al-Mawrid, and we were talking about a few scholars and their English levels, and it was a discussion we were having. And he said to me that so and so said that that to have good English, the person doesn't have good English because that person doesn't speaks in very simple English. And I said, why is it wrong to speak in simple English? Why is it not fine just to speak in very simple English? Because हमारा focus जो है ना वो it's geared towards impressive English. बड़े बड़े लफ्ज बोलना, fancy लफ्ज बोलना, ऐसे लफ्ज बोलना जो किसी को समझ ना आए. And then people go, wow, like, wow, what beautiful English. That's not beautiful English. If you're speaking and the person across from you can't understand you, that's awful English, right? So why do we use fancy words? We only use fancy words when we're using academic, right? आपने PhD का thesis देना है, yeah, use fancy English. आपने politics में खड़ा होना है, आपने judge के सामने बात करनी है, use fancy English. But if you're not doing any of those, then you need to speak, even politicians, they should be speaking simple English, क्योंकि उनकी बात जो है वो आम लोग सुन रहे होते हैं, right? Like not everyone who votes for a politician speaks PhD level English, right? So even politicians should be speaking in very simple English, जो सबको समझ आए, जो जिससे वो resonate कर सकें. So that is, I'm not at all saying कि अपनी vocabulary improve ना करें या नए लफ्ज ना सीखें या vocabulary आपकी अच्छी नहीं होनी चाहिए. What my point is that what is your goal? First, your goal is to speak correctly, to speak concisely, right? To speak comfortably and confidently. So all these C's of learning a language, confidence, correctness, conciseness, and comfort. So ये चीजें ज़्यादा ज़रूरी हैं निस्बत के using all the fancy words and everything. Once you're fluent and once you feel that you have a good command over your language, then you can add. Now, in Urdu, it's the opposite, right? When we hear Javed Ahmad Sahab speaking Urdu, mere jaisa banda, I can't understand a lot of words that he says. They go over my head because the Urdu is very, very difficult for me. But even if I don't understand, I can confidently say that, wow, his Urdu is so good, right? कोई doubt की बात नहीं है इसमें. अभी खदीजा ने इतना बड़ा मुश्किल लफ्ज इस्तेमाल किया when I asked her about what does consistency mean, and she said, and that was so impressive, but Urdu, French, Spanish, these kind of languages, Arabic, these kind of languages are not simple languages जो खाली communication के लिए इस्तेमाल होती हैं. They're deep languages. They're heavy languages. They go very profound. So English is a language. First, you have to remember this and understand this, that English is a language of communication. The purpose of you learning this language is to communicate. No one is going to ask you to conjugate the verb tense on the street. You have to speak confidently and fluently. तो ये बहुत ज़रूरी है. And these two harmful things, क्योंकि ये चीजें होती हैं, that is why, Khadija, you have your question, why is English so hard to learn? Because not you, but you as in general, you're learning the wrong way. All your life, you have been learning English the wrong way. So I have never been to school in Pakistan, but you have. And Tariq, you've been to school in India. In every year of school, आप लोगों ने grammar पढ़ी है ना? You have studied grammar, right?
That's right. Yeah.
In Canada, I studied in Canada. I taught in Canada. My daughter is almost done her high school in Canada. Nobody learns grammar in school. Believe it or not. When did I learn grammar? जब मैंने decide कर लिया कि मैंने English पढ़ानी है, like that's what I want for my profession or my career. That is what I was about, मेरे ख्याल में 24 years old, I think, या maybe ज़्यादा, when I took my first grammar class. My English was perfect. English is the only language I can actually properly communicate in. Urdu का मैं
Mashallah,
काफी
very nice.
बड़ा
Very
गलत कर
nice,
देती हूँ
ma'am.
उर्दू का. but I was 24 and I remember my teacher, because that was class का नाम था teaching English grammar. उस class का नाम ही यही था, like not studying English grammar, teaching English grammar. So पहले दिन हमारी teacher ने हमसे सवाल किया, what's the difference between, I'm going to write that question, the first question that was ever asked of English grammar, and I had no idea what the answer was what is the difference between क्या था? He has been there, he has gone there, ऐसा कुछ था. Okay. This is the first question I was asked in, I think at age, I'll say 24, maybe it was even older. But this was the first thing. Zilehuma, you're drawing beautiful lines for me on my board, but अगर आप ना करें तो बेहतर होएगा.
Actually, we try to move the board to see, but
you cannot see my screen?
yeah, we can, but not properly all
Yes,
the
ma'am, Siddiqa, same situation here. Um, see your whiteboard and everything display in the screen. Mm, Your picture is very little.
My picture is very little. मेरी picture को तो छोड़ दें, but can you see my whiteboard?
But I want to see you.
My, I will send you a photo of mine. You can keep it on your phone. But right now,
Oh,
can you see?
yes, I can see your whiteboard, but
Okay.
here is some problem. I cannot explain.
Let me, I really don't know what to, I cannot modify
I
some
don't have
setting.
any problem. I don't have any problem, ma'am.
Okay, ठीक है. But you know what? If Khadija has
So
no
please
problem,
go.
then बाकी आप लोग भी जो है ना थोड़ा सा बस बर्दाश्त कर लें, okay?
Okay, no problem. Please go
Okay.
ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, so this was the first question I was asked, and मेरे साथ एक लड़की बैठी हुई थी, and she raised her hand, and उसने तेज जवाब दे दिया, and I was like, wow, like how did she even like? I know the difference, but I didn't know how to teach the difference, right? So I was very, very confused, and that's when वो class थी. That's from this point onwards, I actually learned कि present perfect क्या होता है, past simple क्या होता है. I knew how to use it, but I was only taking that class because I wanted to teach the grammar further. Do you see my point? कि आप लोग, it's not your fault, like आपका fault नहीं है, लेकिन आपको जो education system में जिसमें आप लोगों ने English सीखी है, in that system, the first thing you're taught is grammar and conjugation and is verb ko isme kare and everything, but that's not what you need to learn first. You didn't learn Urdu like that. You learned Urdu just from ghar se, bolne se, sunne se. That's how you learned your language. That's how you needed to learn English. But I mean, you all are here right now, so that means that you guys still are willing to learn and improve and do everything. And by the way, does anyone know the answer? He has been there, he has gone there. इसमें actually difference है क्या?
Wow. It's the same situation like you, where you know the difference, but you can't explain.
That was my answer, Tariq.
So I believe he's been there. That means there was a time when he was there, but now he's not anymore. And maybe it's kind of similar. I don't see much difference, but yeah, the same thing. I can't explain
The first
what's in
one
my
is
head.
absolutely correct. The first one
Yeah.
is absolutely on point. The best, I couldn't say it any better. There was a time when he was there and he's not there anymore, right?
Yeah.
Maybe he's not here, but he's definitely not there, right? Now, he has gone there is the opposite. It means he went there and is still there. So that is the difference between the two.
Oh,
So you
got it.
see, it's like you understand it, but then you're thinking like, like how I should explain this, etc. But so this is now, here's my question. Is it important to explain the difference between the two sentences, or is it more important to use them correctly?
I believe it's
Ma'am,
more important to use them.
can I speak?
Of course, yes.
Yes. Ma'am, I have a point. If a person already learned English, ठीक है, तो जो लोग सीख चुके होते हैं, तो वो लोग अपनी मिस्टेक्स को करेक्शन करने के लिए तो ग्रामर देखेंगे ना.
So
हाँ, एक न्यूली अगर कोई सीख रहा है, कोई चिल्ड्रन है और वो न्यूली इंग्लिश लर्निंग कर रहा है, तो उसको तो नीड नहीं है कि वो स्टार्टिंग से ही स्टार्ट कर दे. बट जो लोग रॉन्ग इंग्लिश सीख चुके हैं, तो उन्हें तो अपनी करेक्शन करनी होगी ना मिस्टेक्स के लिए.
तो करेक्शन जो है ना वो आप खुद ग्रामर से नहीं कर सकते, दैट्स इम्पॉसिबल। वहां पर फिर मेरी जरूरत पड़ती है, राइट, प्रॉपर टीचर की जरूरत पड़ती
ओके
है, इसलिए फिर
ओके।
मेरी जॉब लगी होती है, राइट, दिस इज द रीजन व्हाई। तो द थिंग
Very
इज
nice point.
राइट, इसलिए आई डोंट वांट कि आप लोग सारा कुछ सीखो फिर मेरी जॉब चली जाएगी, राइट। तो
No, no, no.
लेकिन
आप तो बहुत कम कम अवेलेबल है ना हमें।
नहीं नहीं, ऑन द व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप आई एम ऑलवेज अवेलेबल। हियर्स द
यस
थिंग,
यस।
अगर आप उर्दू में, अब आप इंग्लिश को छोड़ें, राइट, आप कोई उर्दू की किताब पढ़ रही हैं या उर्दू का कुछ सुन रही हैं और आपको लगता है कि ये तो, या आप कुछ कहती हैं, कोई आपको कहता है कि नहीं ऐसे नहीं होता, ये ऐसे होता है, राइट, तो आप क्या करेंगे? आप उर्दू की ग्रामर की किताब उठा के उसको पढ़ना शुरू कर लेंगी?
नहीं।
नहीं ना, ऐसा नहीं होता, राइट। आप एंड आप कॉन्फिडेंटली कह सकती हैं कि आपकी उर्दू इज वेरी वेरी गुड, राइट, आई मीन देयर इज नो डाउट इन इट, एंड आई मीन आपकी फंक्शनल है, आप एक्सेट्रा, आप जॉब करती हैं, एवरीथिंग। तो यू आर नॉट गोइंग टू पिक अप द बुक एंड स्टार्ट रीडिंग द ग्रामर, आपकी जहाँ एक अपनी जुबान में गलती होगी, आप उसको सोचेंगे, उसके बारे में, उसको रिलेट करेंगी डिफरेंट चीज़ों के बारे में, और अंडरस्टैंड करने की कोशिश करेंगी। नेक्स्ट स्टेप आपका ये होएगा कि आप किसी से पूछेंगी जिसको आपसे ज़्यादा बेहतर आती होगी, या आप जितनी आती होगी, या जितनी आप बोलती हैं उतनी आती होगी। यू नो व्हेन आई सेड दिस, इट वाजंट राइट, डू यू नो व्हाई इट्स नॉट राइट? अब बात करेंगे उसके बारे में। तीसरी बात ये होगी कि आप फिर किसी उर्दू दान से पूछेंगी, या जो एक्चुअल जो कोई स्पेशलिस्ट होएगा उर्दू में, आप उससे पूछेंगी, राइट। द सेम थिंग हैपेंस, ग्रामर बुक्स आर क्वाइट लिटरली एंशंट नाउ। मतलब अगर मैं आपको अपनी जो जो मेरी जो बेसिक ग्रामर बुक है जिससे मैंने पढ़ाना शुरू किया था, जो मैं पढ़ाती हूँ, आई डोंट नो इफ यू कैन सी इट, लेकिन आप इसकी हालत देख रही हैं यहाँ से कितनी फटी हुई है, राइट, ये इसकी हालत है। मतलब I want to send you some pictures of my grammar book. Grammar books ancient हो चुकी हैं। मैंने इसलिए रखी हुई है क्योंकि अगेन मेरी जॉब इस पे डिपेंड करती है, तो कभी कभी जो मैंने बिल्कुल बेसिक लोगों को सिखानी होती है ना इंग्लिश, तो उसके लिए मुझे एक चार्ट निकालनी होती है, या थोड़े से फिल इन द ब्लैंक्स करने होते हैं, सिर्फ एक को पुश करने के लिए। In here right now, when I'm speaking, all of you are understanding what I'm saying. So automatically, you do not need a grammar book to learn English. Norina, I will come back to you in 1 second. Zilihuma, your hand was up. Please go ahead. Are you there, Zilihuma?
She'll be like, I was just stretching, ma'am.
Yeah. Bilkul. Chalo, when you're back, then please go ahead. And Noreen, before I go ahead with you again, but Zilihuma, I think she's trying to undo her mic. She's drawing on my screen. ये आप लोग जो बच्चों की तरह ड्रॉ कर रहे हो ना,
मैम ये हम ड्रॉ नहीं कर रहे हैं, वी ट्राई टू
एक्सक्यूज
मूव
मी।
द बोर्ड एंड देन वो ड्रॉ हो जाता है, मूव होने के
अच्छा
बजाय
पर
ड्रॉ हो जाता है।
नहीं नहीं, आई नो, आई एम जस्ट जो, लेकिन यू
So
डोंट नीड
try
टू
to
मूव द बोर्ड। मेरा बोर्ड अभी मैंने कुछ लिखा नहीं है, और कुछ भी आपको जो नजर आ रहा है इतना ही है, मैंने और कुछ नहीं लिखा बोर्ड के ऊपर।
no actually. So if you are using mobile phone and you are on the like portrait mode, you cannot see the whole like whiteboard where you have both.
ओके,
So
लेकिन
in that case, what they can do is they can just zoom in or zoom out, just like you do with the pictures on the phone. Like use your two fingers for zoom in and zoom out, so you can see there and move like yeah.
थैंक यू,
Please go
थैंक यू।
ahead.
अस्सलाम वालेकुम, गुड
वालेकुम
इवनिंग।
अस्सलाम। वालेकुम अस्सलाम, हाउ आर यू?
आई एम फाइन अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह, व्हाट्स अबाउट यू?
आई एम गुड, अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह।
एक्चुअली फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल आई एम सो सॉरी, मैं ड्राइंग नहीं कर रही थी, वो मैं बोलना चाह रही थी लेकिन मुझे माइक नहीं मिल रहा था
डोंट
तो इतने
वरी,
दिनों के
आप
बाद, जब इतने दिनों के बाद जूम पे मीटिंग होगी तो इसके काफी सारे फंक्शंस जो हैं वो मेरे समझ से ऊपर हो रहे थे, सो
नो
इस वजह
वरीज,
से सॉरी।
नो वरीज, आप अपना सवाल करें।
सवाल मैं अभी समझ रही हूँ, और सवाल ठीक है, मुझे सिर्फ इतना सवाल करना है, जरूरी है कि इंग्लिश में किया जाए कि उर्दू में भी
नहीं
कर
नहीं
सकते हैं?
नहीं, उर्दू में कर सकते हैं।
ओके, ओके, थैंक यू। मैंने ये सवाल करना है कि ग्रामर अगर आपकी उस पे 10 हासिल नहीं है पूरी, ग्रामर का आपको नहीं पता है, तो फिर आप पहले ग्रामर को अगर करेंगे, पहले तो आपको इसका मतलब सारा ग्रामर को ही समझना है, फिर जाके आप बेसिक पे आ सकते हैं।
ओके, तो आपने ये सवाल किया है कि if you don't have a grasp over grammar, then
जी,
you can't learn the basics. Absolutely गलत है ये। देखें, आपकी आपकी जुबान क्या है ज़िले-हुमा? What's your first
उर्दू,
language?
उर्दू, उर्दू।
तो आपने स्कूल जाके उर्दू सीखी थी?
नहीं, घर से ही।
नहीं, एग्जैक्टली तो आपकी अम्मी ने पहले आपको इसम और फेल और सारा जो प्रपोजिशंस वगैरह होते हैं ये पहले आपको सिखाए थे या बस बोलना शुरू कर दिया था?
नहीं, बोलना शुरू कर दिया था।
एग्जैक्टली तो उसके बाद कि आप मतलब एटलीस्ट आप 6-7 साल की होंगी जब आपने पहली दफा कोई उर्दू ग्रामर का लफ्ज भी सुना होगा, राइट? कम
जी,
से कम
ऐसे।
5 साल की
जी,
होंगी।
जी,
तो
जी, बिल्कुल।
ये आपके सवाल का जवाब है कि एब्सोल्युटली बेसलेस है पहले ग्रामर पढ़ना, बिकॉज नेचुरली नहीं है, नेचुरल है
बट
ही नहीं।
इंग्लिश में सॉरी सॉरी फॉर रिपेयर, इंग्लिश में तो ऐसा नहीं है ना। इंग्लिश में जब तक आपको ग्रामर नहीं आएगी, आप एक सवाल ही नहीं कर सकते, आप कुछ बोल ही नहीं
नहीं,
सकते।
नहीं, बिल्कुल भी नहीं। इंग्लिश की आपका क्या ख्याल है कि इंग्लिश बच्चे जो हैं वो पहले ग्रामर सीखते हैं? वो भी ऐसे ही बोलते हैं जैसे उर्दू बच्चे बोलते हैं।
ओके।
पॉइंट ये है कि ऐसे ही बोलते हैं बिल्कुल। सिर्फ ये है कि वो फर बोलते हैं तो हमें लगता है कि वाह, लाइक कितनी अच्छी बोल रहे हैं, लेकिन वो 50 गलतियां करते होंगे। बच्चे बच्चे तो बच्चे बोलते हैं। बट
जी,
द
जी।
थिंग इज दैट एक चीज होती है जिसमें एक्चुअली आप सब बहुत माहिर हो उस चीज में, और हम लोग उसमें बहुत बहुत खराब हैं, और उसे कहते हैं रटा लगाना। राइट, यू गाइस आर रियली गुड एट दैट, क्योंकि आप लोगों के एजुकेशन सिस्टम में इसको काफी इंकरेज किया गया था, अभी भी शायद किया जाता हो। तो लैंग्वेज रट्टा इज द बेस्ट थिंग व्हेन इट कम्स टू लैंग्वेज लर्निंग, बिलीव इट और नॉट। इट्स द बेस्ट थिंग, क्योंकि आपने हम सब ने, all of us, we learned how to speak our language through doing rata, through memorizing, right? मतलब हमने सीख लिया कि for example, हम कितनी जुबानों में सीखते हैं how to say my name is, राइट? तो हम कहेंगे माय नेम इज सिद्दीका, मेरा नाम सिद्दीका है, जमा पहल सिद्दीका, और इस तरह से इस्मी सिद्दीका, बहुत हर जुबान में हम सीख लेते हैं। रटा ही लगाया हुआ है ना। हमने कभी ये नहीं सीखा कि माई जो है वो पोजेसिव प्रोनाउन है, फिर नाउन जो है वो सब्जेक्ट है, फिर इज जो है वो वर्ब है, फिर मेरा नाम सिद्दीका है। ऐसे तो कोई भी अपना नाम रटा लगा के सीखते हैं। तो द बेस्ट वे इज टू लर्न अ लैंग्वेज एज इफ यू आर अ चाइल्ड लर्निंग दैट लैंग्वेज। तो आपने अपने आप को बिल्कुल बेसिक चाइल्डिश लेवल पे सीखना है आपने। और उसके लिए ये आई थिंक नौरीन इस बात की गवाही दे सकती है कि मैं काफी अरसे से ये बात बार बार कह रही हूँ कि ये जो यूट्यूब पे भी जो वीडियोस हैं, ग्रामर की देखनी छोड़ दे। देयर इज नथिंग बेनिफिशियल इन देम। वॉच डायलॉग, इजी डायलॉग। राबिया, अस्सलाम वालेकुम।
Ma'am, but what about the people who like who are very bad at Ratta? Like I'm very bad at it, and I can't like memorize the things very easily until I understand those things. What about those people?
Are you talking about bad at rata? Is that what you said? I'm sorry.
Yes, Ratta. I'm very bad
Yeah,
at Ratta.
me too. Me too. I'm very bad at rata. So that is where जो हमने शुरू में बात शुरू की थी about consistency, right? That is where consistency comes in. So everything at the end goes back into a circle, back to consistency. फिर आपने बार बार उसको सुनना है, apply करना है, सुनना है, apply करना है. So for example, मैंने एक नया expression सीखा है। For example, हमने आज ये सीखा कि he has been there और he has gone there. हमने ये 2 sentences आज सीखे हैं, right? तो अब मैंने इसको अपनी जिंदगी में हर वक्त अप्लाई करना है। जब मैं देखूं कि कोई बंदा यहाँ नहीं है जिसको यहाँ होना चाहिए, I'm gonna say, oh, where's my husband? He has gone to work. Because वो अभी काम पे गए थे, काम पे हैं, वापस नहीं आए। So I'm going तो पता है मुझे क्या हो रहा है, but I'm going to use it. I'm going to use it. I'm going to try to find. I don't want to learn 10 sentences a day. I want to learn minimal, small, but consistently. So मैं उसको हर चीज में apply करूंगी. मेरी बेटी किधर है? Oh, she's gone to school. अच्छा, अब मैंने बिन तो लगाया ही नहीं है, बिन कहाँ लगाऊं? तो मैं कहाँ गई हुई हूँ, लेकिन अब वापस आ गई हूँ. So I can say I've been to Pakistan. I've been to Pakistan many times. इसका मतलब है कि I went, I was there, but not anymore. Now I'm back in Canada. So is tarah you want to learn something and then apply, and that consistency eventually becomes ratified, right? You eventually memorize it. Lekin that is basically what you want to do. You want to just you don't want to, and another thing, you don't want to learn words at a time. Dekho, when I'm saying he has been there, he has gone there, there are 4 words, right? So you want to memorize and use and commit to phrases learning. Now, I know that sounds very easy to say, but when you have to do it, it's not that easy. Or maybe you want to learn faster. Like, and that's not going to happen. The best thing, this is one thing you have to do. This is the second best thing. But the best thing is, again, where I was just saying right before your question, is start listening consistently. Don't watch a 2-hour movie and say, Maine English sun li. That's not English sunna. That's enjoying a movie. I want you to listen small talks. Say people either doing a talk like a let's say TED Talks hote hain, like that, or you want to listen to short dialogues. But you want to do it regularly every day. So if you only have 2 minutes a day, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. Do 2 minutes a day. You don't have to do ke oh abhi time nahi hai. Everyone has 2 minutes. Everyone has 5 minutes. Right? 5 minutes ki commitment though, I'm sure you guys can do. I am 100% sure you can do that, right? So you just have to do that. You have to find a time, do a 2-minute listening. If you want any suggestions, then on the WhatsApp group, I can send you guys many suggestions of like 2-minute clips, or 1 minute is too less, but 2-minute clips that you listen every single day. आपने उसको pause नहीं करना, because in real life, when somebody is speaking, you can't pause them, right? So you want to just listen to them and listen to them and listen over and over again. And trust me, this is not called rata. This is called retention. Your brain will retain whatever you keep listening over and over and over again. So that is what you want to do. And also you should be listening to someone you enjoy listening to, right? तो अगर आप किसी को सुन रहे हैं और आप कह रहे हैं like I don't really understand, और आप अगर शक्ल बना के सुन रहे हैं ना, it's not really going to help you. So you want to listen and enjoy. Like, it should sound good to you. You should say like, oh, I really like the way this person speaks. And then you listen to that person over and over and over again. I mean, if you guys are, अगर मैं आपको एक नाम कहूँ on the top of my head, just go, up, it can be a 2-in-1 for you. You can learn so much about your religion, and you can improve your English by listening to this person, is Dr. Khalid Zahir. Like, his English is so impressive. For me, it's music to my ears. Not only, I mean, I love the way what he says, but also the way he speaks is really, really, really good. But that's who I like to
I
listen.
agreed with you. I agree with you.
Right? He has a beautiful way of speaking.
Yeah.
He's a very good orator. तो ये है कि, और वो काफी उनकी वीडियोस इंग्लिश में हैं, बहुत सारी उनकी इंग्लिश में हैं.
As well as Dr. Shahzad Salim.
Dr. Shahzad Salim is also very, very good. He's amazing. I really love listening to Dr. Shahzad Salim too, but and this is all getting recorded. So Dr. Shahzad Salim, I really, really like listening to you. But when I listen to Dr. Khalid Zahir, it's music to my ears. Dr. Khalid Zahir has a way with orating his words, and so it will be a 2-in-1 for you. It will be a 2-in-1 for you. But whoever, Ways Amjad Saab is another name who is so eloquent in his speech and how he speaks. And yes, Dr. Shahzad Salim is phenomenal. He's really, really good. But you want to listen to someone in English. but over and over again. एक दफा हफ्ते में सुन के you're not आप time ज़ाया कर रहे हैं, वो भी ना करें फिर. So it's better to do it regularly. It's really, really, really important. तो इसके अलावा, the sad story about English being so difficult. उसके अलावा, what other questions do you guys have?
I have a question.
Yes,
May I ask? What is
course.
nominalization, nominalization and its uses?
So nominalization as in like giving numeric values?
Sorry?
What do you mean by nominalization?
Nominalization mean, for example, re-examination of the evidence led prosecutors to reconsideration of the defense guilt.
Are you talking about law?
Yeah.
Oh, I really cannot teach about law. I mean, maybe I don't understand your question very well. Maybe that's the thing.
May I explain in Urdu?
अगर मुझे समझ आई तो wonderful. आप कोशिश करें. You can try. Go ahead.
हम जो वर्ब जहाँ पे आना होता है वहां पे भी अगर हम इसम को इस्तेमाल करें, नाउन को इस्तेमाल करें.
Okay.
तो ये अच्छा नहीं समझा जाता उसमें एकेडमिक राइटिंग में.
Okay, so you're talking about so what I can see over here in my notes is first of all, this is not spoken English, right? ये तो written academic English की बात हो रही है, right? This is very for example, the example that I can see right away in front of me, then really quickly my foot began to go red and swell up. See, when we speak in English, or when we nowadays we chat in English too, and we write a lot of unacademic or informal English, we use the basic format of subject, verb, object, right? That's the basic format that we use. One of the main things is that when we begin a sentence, like I said, we begin with a subject. Sometimes we might have a verb that we want to begin with, right? And so step number one, why are we beginning with a verb, right? मतलब हम क्या कह रहे हैं, किसको कह रहे हैं? Why are we being so formal? Because if I begin with a verb, and I'm speaking to you, then I'm sounding like जैसे मैं कोई lecture दे रही हूँ, या I'm stating some facts to you. लेकिन ऐसा कोई बोलता नहीं है, you know? I hope that kind of
I understand.
So academic writing is something that I could really help you one-on-one when you're like on. You can send me a private message on WhatsApp, and I can definitely help you with that one-on-one. Not in the group and not in a workshop, but you can ask me this in a private message, and I will absolutely give you my explanation on that. But my goal for you all is to speak less academic English. Actually, I want you to speak zero academic English. Rabia?
Yes, ma'am. I have a question. May I ask?
Of course, yes.
Ma'am, I want to ask about the usage of I had been there and I have been there. I'm really confused about these two.
Okay, so the difference, and by the way, I will share this PDF with you of the whiteboard. The difference between I had been there and I have been there. So I have been there, so मैंने भी explain कर लिया ना. I have been there, it means that, like Tariq said, there was a time that I was there, but I'm not there anymore. So like I have been to Pakistan. That means that when I'm saying this sentence, I'm not in Pakistan right now, I'm in Canada. So that's I have been there. And in grammar tenses, it's called present perfect, right? And it means was there, not now, right? I had been there is, first of all, an incomplete sentence. You would never just say I had been there. So would never be used just as is. It is incomplete. This is called the past perfect. And the past perfect,
Like, sorry to interrupt. It means it is past perfect and it has the same rules like with past before past, right?
Exactly. The past
Okay,
perfect is
got it,
also
got
called
it.
the
Thank
past of the past, and it is always used with some a time word, used with a time word. So, for example, you would say, I had been there, I had been to Pakistan many times before I went there to get married, right? So I'm talking about two events in the past. One, I got married, and then before getting married, I had still been to, it wasn't my first time I went to Pakistan. Before getting married, I had been many, many times. So that would be past perfect, and it would be, it would have to be in a sentence with one other action that was also in the past, but the one you put in the past perfect is the one that happened first. So it's like a chronological order of things. So we only use the past perfect if we are using two events in the past and we want to verify that one thing happened before the other.
Okay, ma'am. Before this, I'd been using like this. I had been there instead of I have been there because I didn't have any idea about it. Thank you so much.
No, you're welcome. And you know what? This is a very common mistake within people who speak English as a second language from any language, not only Urdu or whatever. Most languages, when they speak, because had sounds like a past. Now, had is the past, right? So then they feel more comfortable कि हम past की बात कर रहे हैं. I'm going to use I had
Yes,
because I have
exactly.
seems like present. So for that reason, it's a very common error that people often make. But you have to remember that just I have, like I have a daughter, that's a present simple sentence and it's a fact, right? I'm telling you what I have. But when I say I have plus verb, then it is about the past. But that present perfect is one of the most complicated language structures to learn and memorize. And the best way of practicing the present perfect is to listen to the news in English or read the news in English. And oh my God, I was in Pakistan 6 years ago, I think. And 6 years ago, I was at my mom's house and I picked up the newspaper that was there and I started reading the newspaper. And I swear to God, I couldn't understand half the news in the newspaper. The language was so difficult that I was focused. I understood the language, I understood the vocabulary, लेकिन मेरा दिमाग बार-बार ये सोच रहा था कि इतनी मुश्किल इंग्लिश लिखी हुई क्यों है? Who is supposed to pick up the? They don't want people to read the newspaper. Don't tell me that everyone who picks that up understands all that vocabulary. So, uh, so read cbc.ca. It's a Canadian uh, news website. So cbc.ca, the best place for not to read the news, but for English learning, listening and reading. So you can, reading and listening. Why? Because they use simple English, useful English, English that we use every single day. They write in the English that we actually speak as well. So it's a very, very good one. Tariq.
Actually, that's true, ma'am. I just wanted to add here that we have the same kind of newspapers here in India. Like they
yeah.
write in a way that I can't even understand. I used to buy newspapers back then. Somebody told me that if you read English newspapers, it'll be easier for you to learn. But honestly, that made me somehow fear English at the beginning stage when I
Yes.
started to buy that. So
Yeah.
that's
And
ridiculous.
Tariq, another thing that happens in India and Pakistan, both of them, is they use a lot of abbreviations, right?
That's true.
uh,
That's true. Yeah.
PMA said this and ABC said this, and if a person is picking up the newspaper and if you don't know that abbreviation, what does that even mean? But especially in Pakistan, even the political parties are abbreviated. So for me,
True.
I'm constantly always asking my husband, okay, what is this abbreviation? What is this? Like I never understand the abbreviations. So um,
Here,
it's
here in the corporate culture as well, like they use a lot of abbreviation, and
yes, even
most of the times I
exactly
don't
in the
even get it.
common culture.
Yeah. And at the same time, like it's been like when I read newspaper, I go like, oh my god, this English is so tough. And at the same time, when I read like other stuff, like let's say an agreement that we had with the companies or any offer letter or something, it's so simple. So now I can't relate, like why is it so tough? What does it make it so
Exactly.
tough? But
Exactly.
yeah,
But it's a little bit of colonialism left behind. Not a little bit, a lot of colonialism left behind. So when you pick up a newspaper and you read this fancy vocabulary, then all of a sudden you are at that class level that you can say such big words, right? Beshak, you never ever use that word in your life again, but you read that word, you understood it, and now you're at a different class level, right? Whereas here, I mean, if you listen to Justin Trudeau, if you like Justin Trudeau or you don't like Justin Trudeau is one thing, but if you listen to Justin Trudeau speak in English, kisko samajh nahi aayegi. The one who picks up the garbage from my street will understand him, and the
true.
CEO of the bank will understand him. He speaks
That's
English
so
that everyone can understand. That's the point. He's a politician. So he will speak to everyone's understanding level, not just for the people who have like a master's degree. तो ये एक वो है colonial mindset है जो very obvious रह गया है पीछे.
at the same time, like we are running out of time, so I'll just bring the question that Junaid has asked before in the group. I think
Yes.
we're going to skip it, but let's make it if he's not here. So let's make it like, because he tagged there that he wants to get the answer for the same.
So Junaid's question about modal verbs, right?
Yeah, no. So before that, he questioned. I'm sorry. Before that, he questioned about his question was about the use of since at the start of
Oh,
a sentence. We say
okay.
we say that. Yep.
The
You got it.
modal ones, I was thinking of doing it today, but I decided not to. I'm going to make a video for you guys and post it on the group because modals require a lot of uh, me speaking and you listening. So I'm going to do a very communicative video for you guys on modals, okay? But the since at the start of a sentence equals to because. So since can have two meanings, right? One is, used with the present perfect, with the start of time. So for example, I would say, I have worked at IA since 2018, right? That's one use of since the start of time. And the second meaning of since, it can be used as because. So I can say, since you asked me this question, here is my answer. So it's kind of like because. So it's another way of saying because. So thanks for reminding me that was an easy one for me to explain. But the other one with modal verbs, I want to do it in a longer video and then I can share it with you guys. And then you guys have any questions, then in the next workshop, I can answer those questions. Rabia.
Ma'am, is there any difference between the usage of somebody and someone?
No, it's just your personal choice. I don't even know. Sometimes I use someone more, I use somebody more. It's jo aapka mood ho. No worries.
Thank you.
Noreen?
Thank you.
When I gossip, I use someone. When I shout at, when I'm angry at like someone, then I use somebody. Simple.
Now I will remember that, Tariq, when you speak to me next time. if you're gossiping or if you're angry. Noreen, you have a question?
Yes, ma'am, I have a question. Please tell us about the daily routine of English. You suggest the one thing is that daily 2 minutes to listening, and the how can I practice the speaking? Uh,
Imitate. Imitate. आप
Imitate.
जिसको
Okay.
सुनो ना, find somebody to listen to and then speak just like them. So for example,
Okay.
I said right now, like I said the sentence, speak just like them. Aapko, wah, I want to sound like this. This is how I want to sound. Repeat after that. Speak just like them, do just like them, talk just like them, run just like them. एक word को substitute करके repeat, repeat, repeat. तोते की तरह, just like you did when you were a child. Exactly, that's what you did, right? Or if you have children, then that is exactly how they learn to speak as well. Would repeat, repeat, repeat करते रहते थे, and then एकदम से they knew how to speak Urdu. You never sat down with your children and taught them Urdu grammar, but they speak Urdu, right? Or whatever language anyone speaks. It's all about listening, repeating, and repeating again. So listening, repeating, and then doing it all over again. Then listening and repeating, doing it all over again. The best way of learning. And
Yes, yes, ma'am. I have evidence. The first your workshop, I remember that I
your voice just cut.
couldn't get your explanation the first I get more words and more communication with you, so is this my consistency of listening?
Say it again, Noreen. Your voice cut in between.
ओके, मैं ये कहना चाह रही हूँ कि मेरे पास ये एविडेंस है कि जब फर्स्ट में आपने जो वर्कशॉप स्टार्ट की थी तब मुझे आपकी बहुत सारी बातें समझ ही नहीं आती थी और अब वो समझ आने लगी है। इट मीन्स के कंसिस्टेंसी ऑफ लिसनिंग जो होती
Yes,
है वो अंडरस्टैंडिंग की तरफ ले जाती है।
absolutely. बिल्कुल, बिल्कुल। Even अगर आप किसी अपने
ओके।
favorite गाने के बारे में सोचो, right? You like a song and then you mess up the lyrics and then you listen over and over again and then you know the
यस।
lyrics, right? Then you understand the lyrics even more. And the same thing goes with even anything that we want to memorize and to learn, right? To you understand it more when you listen to it more. It's really no science. It's just the way it is. But I will
ओके,
I
थैंक
will
यू
make
सो
a,
मच।
make a very good effort. I promise you, inshallah, I will be more consistent in doing these workshops. It's just life was very busy in the last 4 months. So inshallah, I'm going to try to do these more regularly. But as you guys have questions, please don't be shy in saving them, bringing them to the workshop, asking me in the WhatsApp group, and keep practicing. So inshallah, see you all in the group, and I'm going to end this workshop now. And thank you so much for coming. Thank you for being here. Thank you for participating. तो फिर inshallah मुलाकात होती है. Allah Hafiz everyone.